So today we're going to talk about how to get your footage off of one of the hard drive cameras and into Final Cut Pro. If you used one of the flip cameras, you're going to want to look at the how to use flip share tutorial. So first thing we're going to do is start up Final Cut Pro and open your project.
As you start a Final Cut Pro, you might get this error message. What this error message is saying is that the last time Final Cut Pro was open, it was set up to look at a hard drive that is no longer connected to the machine. What probably happened was someone else was using the machine, they had their own hard drive, they finished with their work, they took their hard drive with them, and now Final Cut Pro, in order to open up, needs to point to a new hard drive. So what you want to do is hit Reset Scratch Disks and hit OK here. And this is probably very familiar to you if you've set up your scratch disk in the past. It's the same thing that opens up. You hit Set, and then you navigate to your hard drive, and then again to the folder on your hard drive containing your practicum project. And then we hit OK, and then we hit Continue. And now it's also very possible that when you started up, you did not get that error message. And if it didn't give you the opportunity to reset your scratch disks on startup, you should definitely go and do that now before you import your footage. And to do that, just as a reminder, we go up to Final Cut Pro, System Settings, and again, it's exactly the same. Hit Set, navigate to your hard drive, and select the folder with your practicum project in it, and hit Choose, and hit OK. So now when we go back to actually importing your footage off of your camera, it will go onto your hard drive and be safely stored there.
So now that we have our project open, we want to get out our camera. First step is to plug it in. You want to grab the USB cable out of the camera bag. And then you connect the small end, the mini USB, to the camera. In most of the cameras, this is going to be on the side. On some of the cameras, it's actually on the back or behind the battery. Then you take the regular USB end and connect it to the back of the computer. And then we just turn the camera on. And then set it to the playback mode, which is usually here on the back on this radio button, or some of them have it on the side here. And then many of them ask you if you've just connected the computer to a DVD burner or a computer/printer. You want to select using the joystick here or the joystick on the top here, computer printer. And now it gives you this message not to disconnect the camera from the computer, and then you know that the computer can access the hard drive here on the camera.
So now that your camera is all hooked up to the computer and you've reset your scratch disks, you can start to import your footage. To do that, you go up here to File, Log, and Transfer. And then we'll open up this little menu, and basically you can see down here it's reading the hard drive of that camera. Once all the footage is done loading into this window here, go ahead and select any footage that you'd like to import, and you can shift select multiple clips if you'd like, and then you just take them and drag them down into this window down here, and basically this little spinning dial will mean that it is importing our footage. And this can take a few minutes depending on the amount of footage that you shot. And as they're done importing, you'll see they disappear from the window down here. And then when they're all complete, you can just close the menu that came up. And so now we have our 3 pieces of footage, and they have fairly nondescript names. This is not so much of a problem if you have, say, 3 clips, but you can imagine if you have 5 clips, 8 clips, 40 clips that you've captured on the camera, it might be a good idea to go ahead and label them. And in order to label them, you can click on them once and then click on them again, and then you can label them whatever you'd like. Say clip 1, day 1, or you can also say double click on them and then preview them and say name them something descriptive like elbow. Like elbow. So now that you've got your footage off of the camera, the next step is to start editing it. And to learn a little bit more about that, you should watch the How to Edit Using Final Cut Pro tutorial.